570 KLAC Los Angeles, an AM/FM incorporated station. This is KLAC News and Information.
Good morning. 47 degrees at 7:01. I'm Fran Tunno.
Charlie Tuna, 570 KLAC.
It's 5:10 this morning. Also today, a special honor. It would have been the 50th birthday of Karen Carpenter. We always play a lot of the Carpenters here. And we have some excerpts, some archives of interviews I've done with Karen over the years, and some interesting insights into, what you always saw as a beautiful voice and just some of the best songs they ever came up with. But you'll have a little bit of the inside scoop on Karen Carpenter and some of her wants, her loves, her fears, her hopes, her dreams, even how she wanted to decorate. She was quite a woman. We mentioned earlier it's the 50th, it would have been the 50th birthday for Karen Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
And this is from one of her fans. Jerry Cooper says, I neglected to ask you if you could please play Richard Carpenter's tribute to his sister Karen. It's titled Karen's Theme, included on Richard's CD, composer, conductor, arranger. It'd be great if you can include it on your playlist on Karen's birthday. Also like to see it included on the playlist for the station. I don't know if we have that or not, but I'll do our best. We have some archive interview stuff I've done with Karen over the years coming up this morning. And it'll give you an insight on just basically, she's a human being like everybody else out there.
Yeah, good family. Came from a good family.
Very much so. And also we have a tribute to Karen Carpenter. This would have been her 50th birthday. And speaking of that, let's take a look back on this date at the music calendar. March 2nd, 1950. Singer Karen Carpenter, born on this date in New Haven, Connecticut in 1950. Karen originally just wanted to play drums.
I said, let me see if I can play. I know I can play. I went over, I picked up a pair of sticks. It was the most natural feeling thing I've ever done. And then that was it, and a week later I asked my mom and dad for a set of Ludwig drums. I wanted Ludwigs, and Richard said, buy them, the resale is better. And so he said, when you go to sell them after she doesn't want to play them in another week, you'll get more money. Well, I kept that set for 2 months, but I also kept it, but then I wanted a show set. 2 months I wanted a show set, and they bought them for me. Well, I was never more at home on a set of drums, and within 6 months, I was playing with Rich.
And that's a look back at the music calendar on 570 KLAC at 6:13. A tribute to Karen Carpenter on what would have been her 50th birthday today.
When I got sick, it scared the hell out of me, man. I said, whoa.
You were down to the 90-pound weekly in that day or so.
Right down to the old 89 pounds there. That made me stop and think. It really did. It made me, now I have a priority list. Certain things that would have upset me a year ago don't anymore. Trivial things don't shake me as much. I've learned to look at if a problem comes up, whether it's major or whether I'm just overreacting, which is easy to do, but I enjoy what I do immensely. I love to sing. I love making records, performing. Sooner or later, I'd like to look into doing a movie. I'm having an enormous amount of good times doing my condominium.
You do a little sewing, too, they said.
I love to needlepoint. And most of all, I would like to have some more time to be just with my friends, Because now if somebody calls up and say, hey, you want to go out? I say, yes, July 6th is free. Not this July 6th, next July 6th.
That's Karen Carpenter, some of the memories.
Wow.
It was not the easiest life sometimes, being a star like she was.
Yeah.
Age 26, but it was. She was talking about she was healthy then, but she was so thin then.
What was the date of that?
That was October 8th, 1976.
When did she died in the 80s, didn't she?
Yeah, she died after, and she married then later on and divorced, but still, she had quite a road ahead of her. But
wow.
She was always working, it seemed like she said, never got to have enough time for fun.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. 8:51 this morning, it's Charlie Tuna. Well, one more excerpt here with Karen Carpenter on what would have been her 50th birthday. You always think people in show business, they've got it all. They have their money, they have their fame, they have the love of their life, and not necessarily true. Talked to Karen Carpenter on this date. This was back in 1976 when I did this interview with her, and I asked her about, what was her favorite song, and that got her to talking.
I think my favorite today is I Need to Be in Love. that really, it upsets
I've
me when I hear
had
it.
so many ladies on the phone call me and say, that is my song. So many had the empathy.
Right at home. I mean, certain nights on the stage, it really upsets me. I mean, I sing it and I'm almost putting myself into tears, you know, because it's so personal. Because John Bettis, our lyricist, wrote that with, when Rich heard the title, he said, oh my God, you know, that's beautiful, you know. And it, oddly enough, the title had come from Albert Hammond, just the title. And then John, Richard, and I are kind of sitting in the same boat. We're all looking, you know, like...
That's what I was going to ask you. You've always been portrayed as loners, sort of a
Well, we're
singer.
not loners. We're just looking for somebody to share our life with, you know, and we haven't been lucky enough to find it yet. That's really the easiest way to say it.
What are the requirements you're looking for today, Karen?
Well, I have my list here, but I'll have to stand just in case it hits the floor. John, Richard, and I are again, John thinks exactly the way we do. That's why when he wrote the lyrics to that thing, I was just flabbergasted, you know, because the first verse of that one, it says, the hardest thing I've ever done is keep believing there's someone in this crazy world for me. The way that people come and go through temporary lives, my chance could come and I might never know. I said, oh my God, you know, it's so true. It's very hard in the position that we are in, and I know other performers, if they hear what I'm talking about, they're probably thinking, oh, yes. Not only to meet people, but to find somebody that's real, you know.
You have to question their motives a little bit if they're attracted to you simply because you're a star.
It's a terrible thing to say, but it's kind of true, you know. And it's hard because we're constantly around somewhat of the same circle of people. And it, you know, a lot of, sometimes, me, I find myself with guys, a lot of them don't know what to expect. Some of them get upset if we walk into a restaurant and they recognize me, they don't recognize him, which puts me away because I don't like to hurt people. A lot of times they don't know how to act. They freeze. I don't know. I say, what are you freezing for? It's only me. You know, but I mean, they don't realize a lot of times that we're just we're human.
Yeah, that was Karen Carpenter. What a sweetheart.
Wow, what a shame.
I know,
Gosh.
I
You know,
know.
when you hear her talking, because, you know, I hadn't heard any interviews with her. You know, just a nice, regular kind of a person.
Very regular. Yeah, very nice person, too. 8:55. We sure miss her. It's 9:52. Well, to wrap things up today, we've been going back to the archives here for a few of the interviews I had with Karen Carpenter. This one goes back again to 1976, and this would have been her 50th birthday, and she had such a pure voice, just great style. And I asked her at one point, who influenced you? Where'd you get the style?
Well, I don't think anybody particularly influenced my vocal style. It just kind of happened. Because I don't really style myself after anybody. When I opened my mouth, it came out, and that was it. But as for liking different vocalists, there's just a million of them. Harry Nilsson floors me. This could go on for days. I love the Beatles, Beach Boys, James Taylor, Dionne Warwick, Dusty Springfield, Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, I could go on for days, you know. All different types, but I never really copied anybody because I didn't, like I said, you know, when I started to sing, it just kind of developed. It's funny because we were listening a couple of months back to a song that we cut, years ago, like on, I think, 67 probably, on Magic Lamp Records. A good friend of ours, Joe Osborne, who is a bass player around town. He's just a phenomenal electric bass player. And he had a studio in his garage, and he had a label for about 2 weeks, and we cut one of Richard's songs called You'll Love Me. And I listened to it, and I sounded country. I mean, it was very odd. No vibrato. It was in tune, but there was no vibrato, and I sung very hard, and I sounded just like a country singer.
That's Karen Carpenter, country singer. Well, not quite. And I thank her for all those moments we got to spend on the phone and also in the interviews, too. She was quite a person. She would have been 50 today. 9:54, that's going to wrap it up today. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And Bill Nesbitt up next at 10 o'clock. You have a great day. Keep it here on 570 KLAC.